The Department of Health continues tracing people who came in contact with the first 3 COVID-19 positive cases in the country, but the DOH admits they are struggling due to limited information. Maricel Halili with the details.
South Korea is the country's top tourism market. Last year, about 1.9 million Koreans visited the country. They were also the top spenders among international travelers here. But with the Interagency Task Force mulling a travel ban in South Korea amid the spike in COVID-19 cases there, the tourism sector might take another blow.
Siyempre, tinitingnan natin yung exposure risk ng ating mga kababayan who are currently working dun sa South Korea. And then of course, ang exposure risk din natin dito sa bansa.
So far, there are no Filipinos in South Korea who has the virus. But the Department of Foreign Affairs still advised overseas Filipino workers to follow the Korean government's guidelines to avoid the virus.
Yung lahat ng non-essential travel, kung pwede hong ilimita na lang ho, at huwag din ho siguro dumalaw sa mga malalaking public gatherings.
About 400 Filipinos in the cruise ship were supposed to be repatriated over the weekend, but it was postponed to Tuesday.
The results of all the tests of the crew members were not yet ready. It was decided to move the date of repatriation to early this week.
Once repatriated, all of them will be transferred to New Clark City in Tarlac for a 14-day quarantine period. Meanwhile, the Department of Health and the Philippine National Police continue the contact tracing for those 3 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the country. For the Chinese couple who were the first to contract the virus here, only 67% or 297 people out of 400 have been traced. 221 of them have been quarantined. While from the third case, only 67% or 172 out of the 225 contacts were traced.
Kahit na nakatulong na natin ng COMELEC, nakatulong na po natin ng ibang ahensya, and because yung listahan po na ibinigay nila, yung mga detalye nila na ibinigay ay talagang incomplete or erroneous, kaya hindi na ho natin sila mahanap.
The 49 people quarantined in New Clark City, meanwhile, were already sent home last Saturday. They were given certificates of quarantine completion by the DOH. For News 5, Maricel Halili, we are One News.
More OFWs have tested positive for COVID-19 there in other countries. In Singapore, the first confirmed case involving a Filipino is now warded in an isolation room at the country's National Center for Infectious Diseases. However, personal details of the patient were not shared with respect to the Ministry of Health's privacy policy. Meanwhile, in the United Arab Emirates, a 34-year-old Filipino has become the second confirmed COVID-19 case of a Filipino in the country. This brings the total number of infected persons there to 11. The Philippine Embassy to Abu Dhabi says the second Filipino case is in stable condition. Meanwhile, the first case, a 43-year-old Filipino, was transferred to another medical facility as his condition was reportedly not improving. Overall, 63 Filipinos have tested positive for COVID-19 so far. That's according to the Department of Health. DOH Assistant Secretary Maria Vergeire says 59 of the cases are from those aboard the MV Diamond Princess docked in Yokohama, Japan. 2 other cases are from the United Arab Emirates, and there are 1 each in Hong Kong and Singapore. The first 3 recorded COVID-19 cases in the country were all of Chinese nationals. These were people who traveled from Wuhan, the epicenter of the virus. 2 of them have recovered, the other 1 died.